years, and her experience includes wealth planning, investment management, philanthropic planning and management, commercial banking, and custom lending. For the past 24 years, as a private client manager, she has worked with wealthy individuals and nonprofit organizations to plan, establish, and manage their overall financial strategies. She holds a BBA degree in marketing from Texas Tech University and is a graduate of the Southwestern School of Banking at SMU. She is a graduate of Leadership San Antonio and has many years of nonprofit board involvement with a variety of nonprofit organizations, including the University of San Antonio Health Science Center, the Deaf Education and Hearing Sciences Council, Respite Care of San Antonio, the Animal Defense League, Daughters of Charity, and San Antonio Greater Chamber of Commerce. Please join me in welcoming her.
Good morning and congratulations, graduates of DEHS class of 2015. You have completed this milestone to set you on a great journey. And when you walk across the stage this morning and accept your diploma, you are going to be ready to change many lives. You've worked hard to reach this point, and I hope you will retain the energy and the enthusiasm that I witnessed last evening as you move forward. You have so much to offer your future students. I want you to leave here today with really a single takeaway that you can draw on in years to come as you face both victories and challenges in your work. And that takeaway is you can change lives. Never forget that the impact that you'll be having on your students is profound. You will be influencing each of their lives even when you think you aren't. So keep that in your mind. You can make a profound difference in each of their lives. Today I want to tell you about two individuals who have overcome great obstacles and the part that their teachers have played in their journeys to success. First, my brother Hayden Phillips, who you heard speak at graduation last year and is profoundly hard of hearing, and Emma Redfin, who is profoundly deaf. Both Hayden and Emma are inspirational heroes to me. They have been wildly successful in overcoming their challenges, and both of their stories give credit to their teachers who took an interest in them and who helped them achieve their greatest potential. And you can be one of those teachers. Now today, Hayden is in the audience today, and he has threatened to make faces at me while I give this address. But I would really strongly advise against that because I have the microphone and I'm the one telling the stories. But more seriously, my younger brother Hayden was born in 1958 with a hearing loss due to my mother having rubella while she was pregnant. In addition to the hearing loss from birth, a series of illnesses and high fever throughout early childhood exacerbated the issue. So that by the time Hayden was a year old, it was apparent that he was not hearing sounds distinctly and he was not picking up on stimulus around him as he would if he had had normal hearing. And keep in mind, in the late 50s and the early 60s, there was very little technology. We did not have anything like the technology or the testing capabilities that we had today. So it was a much bigger challenge to deal with. He began to speak around age 2, but really only our family understood what he was saying. He was speaking the sounds that he heard, and he was using some lip reading, but he was not hearing the sounds distinctly, so it was very hard to understand what he was saying. My parents began seeking medical help, and they traveled to cities, many cities far away from our small hometown in southern New Mexico, where there was really virtually no expertise in this field. So for 2 years, they searched for an accurate diagnosis. And again, it was very difficult, not nearly as direct as it would be today because there was really very little technology available. So they had to try to search that out. When Hayden was 4, his hearing loss was determined to be severe. And again, at that time, there were no cochlear implants available. So his single solution was a hearing aid, which was a godsend. But it was really, at that time, merely an amplifier. He recalls today that when he got his first hearing aid and was able to hear the sounds that he had not been able to hear before, that it opened an entirely new world for him, as you have seen, I'm sure, in working with your students. So he began to connect the sounds of spoken language with the lip reading that he had been doing for several years already, and realized that's what that person is saying. That's what you're saying. So he was able to really open up his world. The other sounds that he heard that were around him were new as well, but he progressed very rapidly once he got that hearing aid. Now, this hearing aid was about the size of a current day iPod, but much thicker than a current day iPod, and it had 2 cords that went into each one of his ears. It resided in a shirt pocket that Mother put a pocket on every one of his shirts so he would have a place for his hearing aid. And it was exposed to all kinds of little boy abuse at age 4, as you can imagine. It was dropped on the playground, kicked across the basketball court. It was dropped in the toilet. It was dropped in other sources of water. Lost in rain boots, all kinds of little boy abuse, as you can imagine. But it was really, he relied on it so much. So he used that type aid until he was 14 years old, when the technology was improved to the point that he was able to use an over-the-ear aid. And that was another life-changing for him, which allowed him the freedom from a body aid which he had been tethered to since he was 4 years old. It allowed him so much more freedom that shortly after he received the over-the-ear aid, he jumped in a swimming pool, forgetting about his hearing aid until he was about to hit the water. And so he came up out of the water holding that hearing aid, and there was a major blow-drying event that took place right after that. He always used a listening and spoken language approach, however, and my parents never considered any other method of communication for him, and he always attended mainstream schools. My parents worked with him tirelessly. They were always reading with him and reading with him and to him and working with him on schoolwork, making sure that he had every advantage possible. But again, his teachers did not have the special training that you have. But the good ones would sit him in front of the class where he could see them, read their lips, and they would make sure that he was able to learn the material. So what impact did those teachers have on him? 50 years later, today, Hayden can tell you every teacher he had that took an interest in him to help him learn the material and encourage and support him in his education. He remembers their faces and remembers what they did to encourage him. So let us say again, 50 years later, he remembers every one of those teachers. You will be having him in your life. Hayden went on to earn a degree in architectural engineering, and today he is successful as a partner in a local architecture firm. He is an inspiration to all those who know what he is doing. There are many positive influences in his life, the greatest of which were our parents. But his years as a student were highly shaped by caring and compassionate teachers, such as yourselves. And with your particular training, you will be able to have an even stronger impact on all of your students. Secondly, I want to tell you about a young lady who has overcome monumental obstacles, and her name is Emma Rudkin. Emma is completing her freshman year at the UTHSC this year, and she's given me permission to tell her story, although I really cannot do it justice in the next few minutes. She began losing her hearing at age 3 to a very profound level. The doctors advised her parents to enroll her in a deaf school and teach her to sign. They said she would never function in a hearing world. But her parents refused to believe that. They didn't accept it, and they placed her in a mainstream school. She was provided a dedicated speech therapist, and Emma learned to talk by observing the positioning of her mouth in a mirror and placing her hands in front of her teacher's mouth to feel the vibrations produced by certain sounds. Her speech is the result of 10 years of intense therapy. She reads lips, she uses hearing aids, and also FM systems to take part in life fully. And she will tell you that she was extremely scared and self-conscious until she was about 14 years old. But she has an exceptional family support, and she has a strong faith, as does Hayden. She is amazingly positive. and she believes that she has been given this challenge so that she can help others. Her resume fills 2 full pages in very small type, and there is no challenge that she has not met. She attends UTHSC Honor College. She's a member of the National Society of Collegiate Scholars, and she's on the UTHSC Honor Roll. She is a public speaker. She plays guitar, she plays the piano, and she sings, and she has many hours of community volunteer work. At her young age, Emma has further established a nonprofit organization called Aid the Silent, which is a system of support for deaf ministry, deaf education, research, and other resources. And it will at some point probably include resources for deaf educators such as yourselves. Her goal with this is to help the deaf, particularly the underprivileged, to have an opportunity to be all they can be and to overcome what the world calls a disability. She was recently crowned Miss San Antonio, and her talent was guitar and singing. She will compete in the Miss Texas pageant this summer, not to win a beauty pageant, but to give a national stage to the great needs of the deaf. And if you if you Google Emma Rudkin, Miss San Antonio, you'll be able to see her tell you something about her story on the internet. She also talks about her teachers who went above and beyond and took a special interest in her future. They helped her gain confidence and believe in herself. You know, both Hayden and Emma have really forgotten their mediocre teachers, but they will always remember the ones that helped them become what they are today. And with your special training, encouragement, and support, you can truly help change your students' lives. You can help them believe in themselves and help them accomplish things they were really never imagined. I heard some of these numbers last night, but I'm going to repeat it again today. If you consider if your teaching career lasts for, say, 30 years and you have a class of 8 each year, that is 240 lives that you are going to be able to change. So this class has an opportunity to change over 1,900 lives. This is just amazing. You know, over my 40 years in banking, I've made loans, I've helped people buy homes, I've helped them finance businesses, manage some money, manage other financial services for them, and generally help them make their lives a little easier, but I haven't changed lives. You are going to be able to change lives. And they can go on to accomplish great things like Hayden and Emma with your support. Hayden and Emma were both encouraged to pursue their dreams. They were not told they couldn't accomplish a goal. Rather, they were told to pursue their dreams at whatever level. Hayden wanted to be a Navy pilot. No one ever told him he couldn't be a Navy pilot until he went to the Navy recruiting office in college, and with his hearing loss was told he wasn't going to be able to be a Navy pilot. But he was able to pursue architecture or any other desired career. Emma was not told she couldn't sing or play the guitar, be a public speaker, or be a contestant in the Miss San Antonio pageant. She was always encouraged to pursue any of these activities, and she has risen to every task. So encourage your students every day, whatever their capabilities, and know that you are making a difference. They may not be able to be a Navy pilot, but help them believe they can reach their potential. Years later, you're going to have students come back to you and tell you how much you did for them, and you're going to know the part that you played. You're going to have some long days, and there are going to be times that you're going to feel that you're not being effective. But always remember, you are having an impact on your students' lives. And when you see them accomplish what Hayden and Emma have accomplished, you will know that you played a part. So I want to end today the same way I started, to encourage you to never forget the impact you will have on your students will be profound. You will be affecting each one of your students' lives even when you think you aren't. You can change lives. Thank you, congratulations, and may God bless each of you.